You walk into a bank, deposit your hard-earned money, and feel secure knowing it's safely tucked away. But have you ever wondered what actually happens to that money after you leave? What if I told you banks don't just store your cash, they use it to quietly build massive profits, all while paying you next to nothing in return? How do they really make money? And more importantly, why should you care? The truth behind the banking system might just change the way you manage your own finances, and by the end of this video, you'll see the system through an entirely different lens. Have you ever spoken with the management of your bank about the operation of the system and the means by which they make your money grow? Please give it a shot. In the event that he complies, the outcome will either be illuminating or, more likely, leave you more perplexed than you were before. When it comes to private banks, the general mentality is that they are doing their customers a favour by protecting their bank accounts and providing them with loans. It is, in fact, the opposite of what you anticipate, if not completely the opposite. Customers do the initial favour of depositing their money, which the bank then lends out many times over, in many times its worth, through a one-of-a-kind banking sleight of hand that nobody disputes. When it is a public bank that is open to the public and operates under certain parameters, it becomes a godsend for borrowers. Describe what a public bank is. It operates in the same manner as a private bank, with the exception that its owners are the people of a city, province, or entire country, and they are represented by government authorities rather than private persons or businesses. As a result of the fact that a public bank is not required to prioritise their earnings, for shareholders, they are able to concentrate on providing their clients with more cost-effective services and at more affordable interest rates. Users need to be aware of the fact that money and banking are systems that permit the buying and selling of goods and services, the payment of bills for services together with investments, payments made in installments, and other similar activities. What money does is bring together other resources such as labour, materials, and creativity or business acumen in order to produce results that are good and profitable. As a result, the market is primarily comprised of relatively fundamental service providers. As a result of the fact that the majority of citizens are engaged in economic activity and require such a facility, there ought to be a public bank to which all citizens have equal access as a right, and not just those who are wealthy or privileged. Within the realm of equal rights is the right to credit. There are many who would believe that this entails spending the money of those who have earned it in a lawful manner for the benefit of others. No, not really. The majority of money, which can be as high as 99%, is brand new. This new money is created by banks, which are authorized to do so through the process of lending. They are providing the borrower with the ability to spend money in order to meet his specific requirements when they lend. However, the majority of money is nothing more than numbers that are backed by nothing. On the other hand, their utilization as a measurement, as well as their allocation and juggling, are essential and most likely fundamental to any and all economic activity, regardless of its magnitude. In addition to this, a high level of honesty and transparency is also a crucial component. In 1919, the state of North Dakota in the United States of America was confronted with a problem that was comparable to the crisis that the rest of the United States is experiencing now. The establishment of the Public Bank of North Dakota was done in order to alleviate the problem. At the present time, it is the only one of the 50 states that has not been affected by any of the events that have taken place. In the years following the global financial crisis of 2008, it has consistently had a budget surplus and has actively looked out ways to spend that surplus. Not only did it lower taxes on individual income and property, but it was also the only state that created new jobs at a time when other states were working to cut their employment levels. It is well known for its participation loans, which include the bank forming partnerships with smaller banks in order to compete with larger banks. In this arrangement, the community bank is the one that originates the loan and assumes responsibility for it, while the North Dakota Bank gives money and shares in both the risk and the possibility of profit. In addition, it is well known for the low interest rates that it offers to loans to students, farmers, and enterprises of all variations. The argument that banking should be left to the bankers because they are the professionals is one that is frequently mentioned. On the other hand, we are aware of what transpired in the Western world when they did exactly that lack of control and oversight. In addition, the day-to-day banking activities that consumers experience are not overly sophisticated, and it is vital to have sufficient knowledge to prevent anyone from taking advantage of them. Germany and Japan soared to the top of the worldwide list in terms of net exports, while the United States fell to the bottom of the list. This was due to the fact that their businesses were able to easily obtain loans at reasonable rates from public or cooperatively held banks throughout the world. Countries such as Brazil, Russia, and India have a tendency to maintain a government control over public banks that is at least 51%, even when they are working with private money. One of the reasons why the majority of Pakistan's millions of self-made mechanics and craftsmen who have great engineering abilities have not been successful is because they have not been able to obtain financing on reasonable terms. This is something that the government might have simply extended into their lives. Instead, the majority of banks, whether they are private or state-owned, decide who they will endow with and who they will not endow with. Pakistan is going to continue to be a dependent and continually manipulated nation until the political mentality shifts to grant equal credit to all citizens as a means of sharing the wealth of the country and as a component of equal rights. If you want to stay ahead of the game and truly understand how money works, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on the insights that banks hope you never learn.